Welcome back, Flashpoints. We continue with our roundtable. We've got Portia Roberson, former Congressman Dave Trott, and Chad Livengood joining us. Chad, I've been wanting to, as we continue to talk about the impact of the pandemic on so many things, this is getting a lot of attention in business circles. I'm not sure it's top of mind everywhere else. I'm really trying to figure out what's going to happen to the commercial real estate world, as now we've got all of these businesses have figured out that people can work from home. We don't need to be spending all this money on office rental space. I've wondered how much of that is driving the IPO decision going on with Dan Gilbert and the rocket companies. But what's the outlook here for what happens to the way that we've been doing business for so long?
Yeah, I mean, you're Dan Gilbert and you're sitting on a couple million square feet of office space in downtown Detroit that is completely vacant right now. And you also have all the retail space below it. And you're basically waiving rent right now for restaurants that are still closed that depend on your employees to fill those restaurants. It's not a really a good outlook right now, and we don't really know all the driving factors of Dan Gilbert's decision to try to take Quicken Loans public, which the company is valuing itself at $40 billion. And this is a company that we found out from the filings with the SEC. They made $900 million last year. I mean, on paper, this company is mature and printing money almost at this point. But they've been continuing to do this in the pandemic. They had a record month in March in new mortgage originations. They broke the record the next month. They broke the next record again in May. They say they're going to keep doing it, and they're doing it with mortgage bankers working in their basement. It's anyone's guess how this is going to work out. But it definitely has to be giving some people pause if they're looking to make investments in real estate.
I've been thinking that maybe they just hadn't gotten the notice yet that there's a pandemic going on. Portia, what do you think this does to business as usual, the way that we've understood it?
Well, I think there's no more business as usual. I mean, I think what Chad said is absolutely right. Why bring everybody back to work? I mean, certainly there's some, argument for the camaraderie and people being able to see one another. But look, people don't even feel comfortable doing that. So even if we open those buildings back up or people, held on to that commercial real estate, nobody wants to come back in. And if you're being successful, I mean, it's the same thing we have at our nonprofit. I mean, we're able to do our work without people coming in every day. So why rush people back, right? Why risk their safety? So I think, you're going to see a change in whether or not people are going to say, when this is all said and done, I want to go out and get tons and tons of commercial or office space for my employees if they don't really have to come back to work to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly. Congressman, rather than letting you weigh in on that, before we say goodbye here today, we watched the farewell to civil rights pioneer John Lewis this past week. And in your time in Congress, I know you had some interesting time that you got to spend with the congressman.
Yeah, he was just a very kind man. And whenever students would come visit me in D.C., I would always set up a picture on the Capitol steps with them. And inevitably, Congressman Lewis would be either coming up or down the steps when the students were there. It happened probably half a dozen times. And I would always ask him to come over and speak with the students. And he was incredibly gracious with his time. He would talk with all the students, tell them the importance of getting involved and making a difference. He'd pose for pictures with all the students, and all of them knew who he was.
Yes.
So they were so excited to meet him, and he just couldn't have been nicer to me. And he clearly was the conscience of the Congress.
You have the story that everybody, of course, whoever knew John Lewis seems to have. I got about a minute left. I want to go around all three of you here really quickly. And if you want to give me a prediction or what you think might happen, we expect Joe Biden is going to tell us who his running mate's going to be this week. Chad, what are your thoughts?
I told you I got out of the prediction business in 2016. I think he will pick a woman of color.
That's as far as you're willing to go.
I can do better than that. That's the
courage upon which this great journalistic career of Chad Livengood has been built upon. Portia, a Democratic insider, you know your way around the Justice Department. You know a lot of the players involved. What are your thoughts on what are we going to see this week?
I think it's going to come down to Kamala Harris or Susan Rice. Kamala can raise a ton of money, which is what you need in a vice presidential candidate, but we're not doing retail politics right now, so it might not be as necessary as it would have been otherwise. And then you've got Susan Rice, who's an insider, who's smart as a whip, who has a lot of foreign government experience. So I think it would be one of the two of them.
Congressman Trott, quickly, I got about 10 seconds.
I agree with Portia, either Kamala Harris or Susan Rice, but an outsider to keep an eye on is Karen Bass from California. She'd be a great choice.
Yeah, a lot more talk about her lately. Thanks, gang, so much for being here, and thank you for being here as well. Meet the Press is next. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Flashpoint.